Hi, it's Jamie from Guildbrook Farm. Let's make some deodorant. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't like a lot of the ingredients that are in commercial deodorants. Aluminum is probably the biggest one, but there are also a lot of chemicals too. Now, I've tried some of the all-natural commercial deodorants such as Crystal Stick and Tom's of Maine, and even just plain old baking soda, and none of that stuff worked. So what I ended up doing was going back to commercial deodorants, and I really just didn't like that option. Over the past couple years, there have been a lot of do-it-yourself deodorant recipes out there, and I've tried quite a few of them, and they sort of kind of worked, but what I ended up doing was tweaking those recipes and coming up with my own version that I think works fantastically. As a matter of fact, this works so well that I would say this is a good 12-hour deodorant for somebody that needs a 12-hour deodorant. So let's get started. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make this, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of the pros and cons to it. So in order to make this do-it-yourself deodorant, you're going to need beeswax, raw shea butter, baking soda, coconut oil. Now originally I use Arrowroot or cornstarch. I don't like cornstarch because of the GMOs. Arrowroot I'm out of. This time I'm going to try tapioca. I have not tried it yet, so this is my first time trying tapioca. And then you're going to need some essential oils, and I use a combination of tea tree oil and lavender. Okay, so let's get started. What I have right here on the stove is a makeshift double boiler, and I know this is pretty rough, but this is what I have. So to this I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of coconut oil, 3 tablespoons of beeswax, and a 1/4 cup of shea butter. And now we're just going to stir this gently until it melts. Okay, now we're going to add 10 tablespoons of baking soda and then 2 tablespoons of your arrowroot / cornstarch / tapioca. And 2 of this. And we're just going to stir this until it's incorporated. Okay, once that's fully blended, we're going to remove it from the heat, and we're going to add 10 drops of tea tree oil and 40 drops of lavender. Yes, I said 40 drops of lavender. You can try using another scent if you don't like lavender. I haven't tried any other scents, but I would probably stay away from any of the menthols because that would probably burn. So 10 drops of tea tree oil. And we're going to just guesstimate here because I don't have a dropper. And 40 drops of lavender. And we're going to stir that. Now we're just going to let this cool for just a few minutes so we can pour it into our glass jar without breaking. Okay, now we're going to pour it into our glass jar. You can see it's already starting to thicken. And you want to make sure you pour it before it gets too thick. And we're going to let that cool before we put the lid on. Okay, so our deodorant has cooled down and it's ready to use. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons to this deodorant. So as far as pros, well, the biggest one is that it's all natural. So you don't have to worry about aluminum or chemicals being in the deodorant. The second biggest one is this actually does work for 12 hours. As someone that has formerly used men's deodorant and had to put it on several times a day, I can tell you that I only have to use this twice a day and sometimes only once a day. This is a really, really good deodorant that actually works. The other benefit to this is it's a paste. So unlike, say, just using baking soda on your armpits or whatever, it doesn't flake off. This will actually stick. And then when it goes on, I don't know if you can see this, but it goes on clear. So if you're wearing a tank top or short sleeves, you don't have to worry about it leaving any stains or white marks or anything like that. As far as the disadvantage, first of all, this is not an antiperspirant, it is a deodorant. So in the summertime, you're going to sweat. Now, a lot of people don't have an issue with that because they know it's natural and it helps relieve the body of toxins. But other people might have an issue with that if you don't actually like to sweat. It is not an antiperspirant. Aluminum is the antiperspirant in commercial deodorants, and because there's no aluminum in this, you're going to sweat. The other probably biggest disadvantage is this costs $12 to make. How do I know this? Because I took all of the ingredients that I used, I broke it down into basic units, and then I calculated how much I use to make this particular recipe. The biggest cost is in the essential oils. More than 50%, probably closer to 70% of the cost is because of the essential oils. So there you have it, guys. That is how I make my do-it-yourself 12-hour deodorant. I absolutely love this stuff. There won't be any other deodorant that I use except for this. If you guys make your own deodorants and you have any tips or tricks, leave those below. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those below as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I was tweaking those deodorant, tweaking that recipe to suit me and my stink level. How do I say that? Tweak it to my, tweak it, just tweak it. Yeah,
to your needs.
To my stinky needs.